Hello, welcome to Skill Check, the positive gaming podcast from YMCA Exeter. My name is Andy.
And my name is Becky.
Welcome back, Becky.
Thank you, yes.
Did you enjoy Big Church Festival?
Festival, yeah, it's festival.
That's the
We're
one.
not actually out anymore. Yeah, it was really good. I'm very tired. We talked to a lot of people, so we're there with work, if you wanted to know that. We were there to man a stand from the YMCA Exeter because we are about to try and recruit lots of people.
So you talked to lots and lots
So
of
we
people
talked
when you were
to
there.
lots of people.
Did you manage to see anyone live?
Yes, I did. I saw Rend Collective. They were the one that I wanted to see, so I made sure I was off the stand for that one. That was the one. Yeah, and I saw Chris Tomlin. There was a lot of discussion about Delirious. So if you don't know who Delirious are, you're probably not old enough.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Delirious, yeah.
They were like the original Christian band. Let's put it that way. And there was lots of discussion about them, and I was like, they may be making a comeback, which would be really cool. I get really excited about it. Anyway.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Um,
What's coming up with this week's podcast, Andy?
We are looking at kind of the whole question about kids and mobile phones and safety, and we're going to try and maybe unpick some of that. Maybe not. We'll at least talk about it. We've got the game of the week, but firstly we have gaming news. Right, gaming news. What have you got for us this week, Becky?
Our first piece of gaming news this week is Microsoft have announced that eagerly awaited Call of Duty Black Ops 6 will be going straight to Game Pass in a shake-up for the company. Traditionally, gamers have had to hand over significant sums of money upfront to buy big new releases outright. With the latest edition of Call of Duty, they will now have the option to pay a much smaller monthly subscription instead. The tech giant has previously made games available to Game Pass subscribers on launch day, such as the 2023 much-anticipated Starfield, but has never done so with a release anywhere near as significant as Call of Duty. It is a big test for subscriptions, because if Call of Duty can't move the needle in terms of subscriber numbers, probably nothing will. GamesIndustry.biz head told.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I've got Game Pass.
Yeah.
I've got Game Pass. We've got Game Pass at work as well.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll find reasons to play it. Because people will be playing it. In regards to that last comment from Blokey,
Blokey, Games.biz.
who knows more about this sort of stuff than I do, just for record. I wonder if the question is more going to be about churn, so people who leaving the service, people joining the service, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I wonder if less people will leave the service after a month or two than before. I wonder if customer numbers will stabilise, I guess.
Yeah. What is it though? So because they want continued access to the game, they
Exactly,
will keep these. It's a bit like Netflix breaking up series and doing it over 2 months rather than one. It's basically just keep people subscribing, right?
Yeah,
So,
totally.
Yeah, it's interesting. People were very excited about the fact that it's going straight to Game Pass. So
yeah, I guess using the Netflix model again, people keep shows like Netflix, services like Netflix. Services like Netflix because they want to watch particular shows, and that's their access to those shows.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason, DVDs. Well, no one uses DVDs.
No one uses DVDs anymore.
And so therefore they keep that service to get access to that show.
Yeah.
I wonder if people keep Game Pass to keep access to Call of Duty.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, won't we? Our second piece of gaming news is a young gamer from Devon is one of just 50 children to make it through to a competition run by British Academy Film Awards BAFTA. Arthur, 13, from Exmouth, impressed judges of the Young Game Designer competition with his creative take on ghost hunting. Dubbed Linger, the game has an emphasis on social links and interaction, Arthur told the BBC. Arthur, who said his love of gaming began in primary school, said he hopes to go into marketing when he was older. Describing his game, he said, "You're part of this group in this fictional city. Ghosts have started popping up." Arthur's mum, Bernadette, Meanwhile, said that she was incredibly proud of her son's achievement.
Okay, so you're part of this group of people in this fictional city, and ghosts have started popping up.
Just randomly popping up.
I want this in my life.
It sounds really cool.
I want to play it.
We love this because it's a very local piece of news. It's literally like down the road, so it's very exciting. And that's why I put it in, because I was like, this is so cool. And also I like the fact that it's a young person. Like he's literally 13.
Yeah.
And it's just showing that anyone can design games.
And I love how you're picking up on that as the youth worker.
I am the youth worker.
And I'm just reading the description of the game. And I'm like, I want this.
Yeah. I love that it just shows young people's potential. So that's my youth worker.
Totally, and the fact that he is 13, is just awesome, and he's got this idea of that for a game that people,
and he's going to BAFTA, which is really cool. That's really exciting. Our final piece of gaming news is a group of students have developed 2 mobile phone games to raise money for charity, despite having no prior experience in the industry. Dubbed Project Pixel, the 25-strong team based at the University of Sheffield have picked up skills in programming and sound production along the way. The first game, Colour Dash, is available via Apple's App Store and Google Play, while a second, Flight Frenzy, will be released later, with all profits going to charity. To help get Project Pixel off the ground, the students sought advice from Sheffield-based video game developer Sumo Digital, who have worked on games including Forza Horizon 4, Sackboy: A Big Adventure, and Crackdown 3. Both their games to date are endless runner-style games in which players have to avoid obstacles and collect objects.
I mean, endless runner games.
Yeah.
It's kind of what mobile devices are there for. I've not managed to find it on the Apple App Store yet, and couldn't get my act together in time to download it onto the Android device. It looks fun. I've seen some of the kind of images on their website. It looks like a fun game, but almost more importantly than the game itself is the story behind this, which is the university students working together, creating kind of games for charity. Yeah,
I think it's a really cool way of raising money for charity. It's really cool. They haven't decided what the charities are yet. So that's in the article, they're not they're still working out what charities they're going to decide.
Hello, Project Pixel.
Yeah, do you want to
can we have a chat at some point?
But that's really, I think it's a really novel way of creating, income for charities. I think that's a really cool. We're obviously a charity, but I think it's so creative. I think we kind of go down the line of this is a straight fundraising thing. We do a lot of fundraising events. We get young people to we get people to run the Great West Run that they did the weekend, all that kind of stuff.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and this is a very different way of raising money. And I think some people can run the Great West Run, but also some people can create games that raise money for charity as well. So I think it's really cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
Every now and then, we kind of come across our plan for the year and we get to a subject and we're like, well, there was obviously something going on when
Why should we put that in there?
but I think with young people and mobile phones, or kids and mobile phones, that is a subject that seems to kind of come and go depending on the headlines, right?
Yeah.
But I guess there's also a subject that kind of is just going to keep popping up for arguably at least another half generation.
Yeah.
Until we kind of get our heads around how to manage it.
Yeah.
And how to. Yeah. I mean, I guess thinking about it, I wonder if part of it is when we put our plan together for the year, because this podcast is planned.
We do plan it.
We do plan it. No matter how it looks today. I had very recently. I'm gonna say given. Yeah. My daughter her first mobile phone.
Yeah.
There is more to it than that. Which there's a certain amount of ownership.
Yeah. How did that go?
So, well, I mean, she was happy with it.
Yeah.
It was a little bit later than her friends.
Okay.
I think we were initially planning to give it even later.
Yeah.
But basically what happened is that she went back after Christmas. Like, oh, my friends have got mobile phones.
Yeah.
What gives?
Okay.
And we're like, well, we were talking about it anyway, so why not?
Yeah.
Part of the process was kind of parental controls.
Yep.
That we looked into and we put on.
Yeah.
It was straightforward, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I had to kind of go away and research it.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
But a little bit of research of, I literally just Googled Apple parental controls.
Yeah.
And it talked me through it.
Yeah.
And it was really straightforward because whilst some people have a certain high opinion of my digital know-how, I still don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
And if it's something I've never done before, then I need to go away and work it out for myself as well.
Have the parental controls been effective?
Yes.
Yeah.
In that it has set a particular kind of set of expectations.
Yeah.
Particularly around tech usage.
Yeah.
And bedtimes.
Yeah.
And I think because it's been happening from year dot, so to speak, when screen time kind of comes to an end, when let's be trying to think of the Apple name for no, you're not using these apps anymore, comes into effect. But when that time comes, she accepts it because that is what life looks like.
Yeah. Did you talk to her about expectations before that, or were you like?
I think so. Yeah. Okay. I think there's. I have slept since then. I think there was some conversations along the lines of leaving the phone out in the hallway.
Yeah.
And not having it in her room overnight.
Yeah.
I think since then we may have adjusted that at least a little bit since then, but only in regards to her using it as an alarm to wake her up in the morning.
Yep.
And what that looks like is us taking a phone in, like, last thing at night.
Okay.
When she's asleep.
Yeah.
After it's been charging. Okay. So the charger stays in the hallway.
Yeah. And
she wants her phone to be charged.
Okay.
So therefore,
it
will stay in the hallway because she wants to be able to use her phone the next day. She totally gets.
Okay.
If she leaves Roblox running.
Yeah.
Battery's going to get drained.
Yeah.
So and if her battery gets drained, well, she can't use her phone out and about because she needs to charge it. Just like everyone else,
Yep.
Yesterday, I was just using my phone a lot for work-related purposes.
Yeah.
But my days, I spent the morning out and about. When I got home, early afternoon, like 10% battery life left.
Yeah.
My phone was not happy with me.
Was that moment where you're like, oh no, is it gonna last?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I had all the warnings coming up. So she gets it, and do I have concerns about her screen usage?
Yeah,
probably.
Okay.
But would you replace that with watching TV? Yeah. If I took her phone away, probably.
Yeah.
Would she replace TV with something else? Probably.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's almost kind of a story of the ages.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember back in my day,
all those
years ago, it was about kids staying in and watching TV.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Gogglebox.
Yeah.
Before TV.
Before Gogglebox was
came
out. I think we kind of talk a lot about healthy boundaries gaming as well. Like, actually, the more conversations you can have with young people about this stuff, the better it will be and the easier it will be. And I think, like, engaging them in the process is a much better way of doing it than saying, oh, you can't have this. And I'm not saying give your kid a phone really young. That's not what I'm saying. I don't want anyone to think that I'm saying that. What I'm saying is constantly saying, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, without giving a reason, isn't going to make your young person want to do it. Like, what is going to make them want to do it is having a conversation about, is this healthy for you? Is this okay? Like, you can't just say to them no. Empowering them to have their own boundaries is going to be much better for them in the long run than it is if you just say, no, you can't do this.
I think that's complex. I think the problem is, for a lot of parents, this is new territory.
Yeah.
There is no parenting books out there written by parenting experts who've written loads and loads of books and TV shows and things about mobile phone usage, game usage, because it's such a new kind of thing. So we are all working this out as we go along, and no right answer. There's no official party line, and no matter what we make. Heck, I'm sounding like a kid myself now. We like to know what the right answer is. Yeah. And it sounds like we're approaching this from slightly different angles, but it sounds like we're both kind of saying there is no correct answer.
I don't, but
not one that is kind of underlined. You should do this.
No, I do not think that.
If you talk to Because if you're to have a conversation about healthy relationships, healthy boundaries, healthy usage, you've got to hold yourself open to a slightly different conclusion. If you're to have a conversation, and maybe come to a slightly different result, where compared to saying, no, this is the red line, never going to happen. I mean, it's an old joke in parenting circles that my kid will eat what I eat.
They won't.
And then you have a kid, and you realise the chances of that happening is zero.
Yeah. I'm not suggesting in any way that this is easy, and I know that, like, for a lot of parents, this is a dilemma that they will all have to go through at some point. And I've had, like, a chat with you about this. I've also chatted with some of our other colleagues that have got teenage kids that are coming up to that age of, like, wanting to have a smartphone, all this kind of stuff, particularly around social media. Like, there is an age limit on social media for a reason. So you are not supposed to be below 13 for social media. That is not how it happens. It is, we have lots of young people that are in youth club that are below 13 that have social media. And that's but that's not our decision as youth workers, that's a parent decision. But there is a reason for the age limits on these social media apps. That's another altogether. And even with gaming, there's a reason, they put PEGI ratings on them.
Yeah.
Like, all games have PEGI ratings, including mobile phone games, I think.
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to be happy to be wrong.
You might be wrong. But most mobile phone ratings, even if in like App Store and stuff, will tell you an age bracket on them.
Yeah.
Like, so there's a reason these games have age brackets. Like, there's a reason that, like, mobile phone games do have age. Like, when you go to the App Store, there's a little thing that says the age for the appropriate thing for this is this age.
Oh, that's just open up for Roblox.
It's just like
age 12 years plus. Yeah.
So, like,
I've just never paid attention to it, really.
But, like, there's age limits on these things for a reason. And if you're a parent and you're deciding to let your kid play the game or do a social media app, that's your choice. But it's engaging with them in conversation and saying, look, we're going to let you have this, or we're not going to let you have this, and here's the reason. And explain it to them. Most young people are. Like, I was reading a thing recently, it says this generation coming up now is called, their, like, nickname is Generation Sensible. They know, like, they're not making choices that we would have made when we were kids, but part of that is empowering them and giving them like and explaining things to them and not treating them like they're stupid and that they don't like that you can't have a conversation with them and the best way to deal with it is to just deprive them of it. If you want to deprive them of it, that's fine, but just talk to them about why, and explain it to them and say, look, this is the reason we don't want you to end up in a situation where you've got really bad mental health things and all this, because that it can happen. And I'm not saying it shouldn't, but just explaining it to them why and not just saying no. Like giving them a reason, explaining that they will understand. Young people are really clever and really incredible, and they do understand what you're saying when you say it to them.
Yeah, and I guess it's okay to say no, not yet.
Yeah.
As well, and that not yet could be let me go away and look at this.
Yeah. Or it could be I think you're too young.
Yeah.
It could be I just want to protect you and I want to make sure that you're okay, and that's fine. But I just think sometimes we are really quick to say no without giving anyone a reason, and young people are smarter than that.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that we are kind of condensing probably a huge conversation, and probably a huge conversation that could
go on.
It could have its own podcast, actually. And condensing it into probably, I don't know how long we've gone on for. I've got my notes up instead of the actual recording software right now. So we've probably gone on for about long enough. But this is a huge conversation, so we are kind of condensing a lot, and there is a lot that we are missing, and there's a lot that we could talk about.
Yeah.
I would always suggest that if there are kind of concerns, or if you want to know more about any I'm very much talking to parents now. If you want to know more about any kind of app, device, game, I guess, to an extent, is to get onto Google and search parental controls and then the name of the device. That device could be Chromebook, Switch, Roblox. I think Minecraft might have something. Don't come at me if that's wrong. Android, iPhone, so on and so forth. But yeah, but again, it kind of comes back to what we always kind of bang on about, is to show an interest, isn't it? It's about kind of asking questions, encouraging use of open spaces. Yeah. Basically, there's no easy answer. We have probably missed something. If you feel we've missed something, tell us.
Yeah. And now it's time for Andy's Game of the Week.
I've done it. I've finally done it.
Done what?
I mean, years after lots of other people have done it, I've finally completed Spider-Man.
What?
Didn't
we talk about this before?
Yes. So we talked about it at the start of the year when I started playing it.
Okay.
It's been a whole kind of thing with laptop crashing.
Oh no.
And other games being released and
dipping in, dipping out.
Dipping in, dipping out. But the whole kind of plus, you know, I don't know why I didn't buy it full price when it came out.
Yeah.
That was a mistake on my behalf. I should have just gone for it because it's awesome.
Really? Okay.
I would, if you're a Spider-Man fan and if you have a PlayStation or PC.
Yep.
Get it. I would compare the storyline.
Yeah.
Up there with the best of the Marvel films.
Wow, that's saying something.
I've recently completed it, so this might be fanboyism.
Andy is a Marvel fan, just to point that out.
Yeah, I am, but there are far, far bigger Marvel fans out there than I. But yeah, as a story, it is awesome.
Okay.
The ending, no spoilers here, but the ending is something special.
Okay.
I'll be okay with the ending eventually.
That's a statement.
Yeah. If you're not aware of it, if you've not come across a Spider-Man game before, it's your kind of basic. On one hand, it's your basic kind of over the shoulder kind of platforming, beating up bad guys game, swing from kind of building to building as Spider-Man. Great kind of mechanics and how that feels. There's the occasional mission where you are where it's more stealth based and you're playing as different characters in the universe. Yeah, but storyline is awesome. The stealth missions can get in the bin as far as I'm concerned.
Really?
Well, playing it, yeah, I just had a lot more fun playing as Spider-Man.
Okay.
Yeah, available on PlayStation PC. Spider-Man Miles Morales is also available on PC as well. Spider-Man 2's not come out quite yet. On PC, available on PlayStation 5. Might be the game that gets me onto Sony PlayStation eventually.
That's a fixed aim of Mandy.
We'll see. I'll have to see if I can smuggle it into the house somehow.
Oh. Well, that is all we've got time for on that
If
bombshell.
Mrs. McKay is watching this, you
please ignore that.
Just ignore that last comment.
That's all we've got time for on this podcast. If you are following us on social medias, please, well, if you're not following us on social medias, please do follow us at YMCA Exeter and at YMCA Exeter Games. If you've got any comments or anything, please do throw them at us. If you're watching on YouTube, please do like, comment, and subscribe. And hello. And goodbye. And we will see you next week.
Bye.